Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys just give me a quick hi so I know that you are able to hear me in the question box, in the chat box? Let me know if you guys are able to find the chat box. There we go. Hello. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to give it a couple of more minutes just so that everybody hops on. Awesome. There's so many people here. I'm so excited to be presenting with you guys today. So right now what I'm doing is my dog is getting ready to jump on me for her treats. Here's the second I start speaking, it's treat time. And she's right. So she loves me doing the presentation just as much. She always gets a treat. Okay, so where are you guys coming from? I would love to know because there's some names, but the majority says members, traders, active members. Where are you guys from? I would love to know where everybody is joining us. So just put it into the chat box so that I could see where we're all coming in from. That's the beauty of trading. We could do it from anywhere in the world. All right, there we go. New Jersey. Which part of New Jersey? My parents live in New Jersey. And Illy is from Chicago and then from Kentucky. Nice. Winnipeg, Canada. Very cool. Long Beach, New York. Oh, that's Long Island area, right? Iowa and Miami. Very cool. I'm actually flying into Miami next week for some things that I have to do. Awesome. Where else is everybody else from? From Toronto and Denver. Awesome. We were just actually, me and Anna were just talking about Toronto. I love Canada. I think Canada is one of the best countries. Just gets too cold for my blood, but I love it there. Denver. I lived right outside of Denver for a little while. I lived in Summit County and I was a ski bunny for a year. I love Colorado. Colorado is, yeah, it's just a heavenly state. Paris from Chicago. Hi, Paris. Good to meet you. I don't know Chicago. It's one of the only cities up north. Well, just, yeah, that whole region, I don't know. I've been to almost every other state and city in the States, but the northern region, I got to make my way over there. I know it's absolutely beautiful there. All right, guys, anybody else? I see that quite a lot of new people just entered. So please say hello and let us know where are you from. And now I'd love to know what you guys trade, what your interests are, because we are here for a trading presentation. So please let me know what are your most interested instruments that you guys like to trade. And also, this is really important. I know that this is a presentation and my goal is definitely for you to learn even that one thing. I always say, if you get the one thing from any presentation, workshop, course that you get, that one thing could literally be the one that takes you to that next level. But normally that happens when you're interactive, you know, by asking questions, by, you know, really talking and giving feedback or being honest with your challenges, because that's what's really going to get you guys more out there. And I always say, day trading is not a spectator's sport. It is a very interactive activity, right? It is an action performance activity. So asking questions, I actually always tell my kids, you know, whenever in doubt of anything, ask. Just ask, because you'll be surprised. A lot of times people will give you the right answer and put you in the right direction. So that's really what I am here to do today. Okay, so I'm going to get started. And remember, I will answer all of your questions. So please don't be shy and ask away. So I am Marina, the Trader Chick, and this is me right here. And today what I want to talk to you guys about is how to get over yourself and actually have fun in trading with 4 basic strategies. We all know that day trading, and actually anything with the financial markets overall, it's such a mindset thing, right? Like it is an emotional activity, but there are ways that you could minimize that, right? And it's literally all about understanding how your mind works and how to get out of that emotional state and focus more on what is actually happening. And that's what I really want to talk to you guys about today. So my big question for you guys is, who here actually has fun in trading? And you could be really honest, because sometimes I was saying that I was having fun in trading, but I was really miserable in the beginning. I was always really anxious. I was super stressful. I was always on edge because I didn't realize that I could genuinely have fun in trading. So how many of you guys here really genuinely have fun? Like you sit down and you are enjoying the process rather than, you know, stressing, biting your fingertips, kind of freaking out. Because let's be realistic. That's true as well, right? So why would we want to spend all that time and put in our valuable hard-earned money into something that we're not even really enjoying? Because when you're really stressed out, when you're super emotional, in any part of our lives, we always know that that's not how we get the best result, right? So that's what I really want to focus on. So now I want to ask you another question, and go with this, okay, guys? Just bear with me because it will totally make sense. How many of you guys have driven a car or have been in a car? I know it sounds like, come on, everybody has, but I want you to answer that question. How many of you guys have either driven a car or have been in a car? Because the shocking fact is, yeah, you're wondering, why am I asking that? Because I want you guys to see something a little bit more open-minded. There's a shocking fact. Worldwide, there are gazillions of car accidents each year. Gazillions, right? Yet every single day we still get into our cars, we jam out to music while driving, either with our kids or on our own, or we text or answer the phones. I know that you do it. I've seen you do it, and I am just as responsible and guilty of this, but we do this even though we know how dangerous a car is. And because I am an expat living in Guatemala, we could even do this, get on our motorcycles with kids and dogs. And I've done this, okay? So I've been living on the edge. Now, how many of you guys have lost money in the market? And don't hide from this, because we've all been there, right? All that been there. Yeah, totally stupid drivers, unfortunately, right? I mean, I have personally lost a ton of money in the markets when I began. But look at me. I'm still here. I still get to hug my kids every day. I still get to hang out with my husband. We still travel all the time. So why is it that when we get into a car where we know that there is a chance of real life injury or even fatalities are real, yet we still have fun? We still have fun, right? We don't get into the car all anxious, all stressed out, all freaking out every time, right? But the consequence can, because it can be a stupid driver going towards us. It can be us distracted for a few seconds, right? Yet when we trade, the worst that could possibly happen is that we lose some money. But we treat it as much more deadly serious and end up losing all the fun of it, right? Look, don't get me wrong here. You cannot get into a car and simply wing it. You have to know how to drive. You have to have the basics of driving, the steering wheel, where is the gear shift, where is the clutch, where is the brake, where is the accelerator, where are the windshield wipers, how do I turn on the lights, right? We forget that this is something that we learned. This is not what we were born knowing. How do I know this and why I was reminded of this? My 18-year-old son just learned how to drive a car. And when we first originally got into the car and we're like, all right, buckle up, put your gear into first, put the clutch in, put your foot on the brake, release the clutch. She's like, wait, what gear first, clutch? What are you talking about? Because we're not born with that information. We need to get to the basics to be able to even put our car into first gear and move the car in the first place, right? And that is something that I find to be always overlooked when you begin trading. We are never taught how to get to understand the basics, right? Trading is so much like driving, but you take out that crazy risk involved, but you still need to know the basics of trading or you will end up crashing. And after years of learning other people's strategies, following their trade setups without having any idea of why I was even taking my own trades, or in other words, I never truly learned how to drive my own charts or drive my own car or read my own charts. And you know what happened to me? I ended up losing big time. I literally lost almost $4,000 in 5 minutes chasing a trade. And listen to the scenario because I know a lot of you guys have been in this same scenario. You're in some live chat room, you have been maybe taking some classes or watching YouTube channels, and you don't fully understand why they're doing what they're doing, but all of a sudden they're saying, oh my gosh, here's a great trade, I'm going in. You don't fully understand why there's that trade, but you've been now practicing, on and off. So you jump in on that trade because if they say it's a trade, you need to take that trade. But by the time you enter that trade, it's now past that time. So you started to chase the trade. So you've now crossed into the emotional trading scenario. The chased trade starts to go in the wrong direction, yet you don't permit yourself because your ego is telling you that it's going to turn on you. So that stop that you put in at once has now turned into a mental stop, meaning that you remove that stop. And what happens? Boom, you end up losing a lot of money. Who here has been in that situation? Because I know for a fact I'm not the only one that has been in that situation. Okay. And after blowing my account literally in almost 5 minutes, guess what? Do you think that I actually stopped trading after that and was smart? No, I ended up revenge trading for another 2 more days, losing an extra almost $2,000. Okay, I know that I'm not the only one that has been in this situation, and it sucks. Unfortunately, we have all been there. But understanding and stopping ourselves and realizing mental stops don't work. Chasing trades don't work. Revenge trading, that is the death of your accounts. And understanding that will really put a perspective on you. So after all of this that happened to me, I literally, in car terminology, I totaled my car more than 2 times. And that's when I had an official breakdown. I mean, it was a total breakdown because I was already trying so hard for a couple of years, not getting anywhere. I was in trade rooms. I was just totally not able to understand what was happening. And I remember laying flat face on my floor in my bedroom. That's where my office is. And my husband coming in, looking down at me, and he was like, why are you doing this to yourself and to us? So, you know what happens when you have a breakdown? You literally have to come up with 2 decisions. You either, one, you quit. You never trade again in this situation as a trading, or you have a breakthrough. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this movie, Nacho Libre. I really recommend it. It's such a cute, funny movie. It's just super well done. Anyways, there's this character, Nacho, and he wants to be a Mexican luchador. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of Lucha Libre. It's the Mexican version of wrestling. And he is desperate to be, he's this luchador. He wants to be this wrestler, and he's horrible. And there's this one scene in the movie where he's standing in church praying to God. He was like, God, why did you give me this passion to be this luchador, but made me such a lousy warrior? And I literally felt like that for a long time. And then, of course, the movie turns around and he, beats one of the biggest, most, famous luchadores and becomes the hero. And you know how that goes. But literally, that's how I felt. And I ended up quitting. I actually did quit. I walked away for about 4 months. But the thing is with quitting day trading is that you know that you can do this, right? We know that we can do this. So I decided to come back and I had a breakthrough. So what I ended up coming back was I removed all of the crap on my charts first and foremost. When I came back, I had 3 monitors going. I was trading off of 3 monitors. I was in constant analysis paralysis and 10 indicators. I literally took my 2 monitors that were less than a year old and I put them out on my curves. So basically donated them to the garbage men. And I removed all of my indicators because whenever I used to ask any questions about basic questions, you know, can you please tell me about divergence? Can you please tell me about reversal patterns? Basic stuff, right? Nothing that is super complicated. What are support and resistance areas? I was either treated like I'm supposed to be born with this information or completely ignored, yet no one actually taught it to me. And so I went back and I literally went back to bare naked charts and I studied them for years, understanding the basics of the market. And what I started to realize is that the market actually speaks to us. It has its own language. And I became fluent in that language by listening to it. And I realized that it's actually way simpler than people think that it is. And that's what I want to show you guys today, because the more simplified something is, the less we stress, the less we freak out. And that's really how to have more fun with anything. Okay, so before we move on, I want to do a really quick intro and fun facts for you guys. So who am I? I am Marina, the Trader Chick. I actually live in Antigua, Guatemala. I'm an expat in Antigua, Guatemala. I've been living here for the past 13 years, and before that, we lived in Costa Rica. So I've been an expat for quite a long time. Before I became a day trader, I was actually a fitness instructor and a travel writer. So the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people believe or think that you have to come from a financial background, engineering background, a software background, math background. None of those things are true. Anyone, and that's the beauty of it, anyone can truly become a successful day trader. So I'm also trilingual. I am actually a Soviet Union refugee. I moved to the United States when I was really young. So Russian is my mother language, but English is my main language because I learned it since I was a little girl. And Spanish, I learned that obviously because I've been now living here for the past 20 years in Central America for 20 years, but I learned Spanish in my later years when I was in my late 20s. So the reason why I bring this up is not because, oh, look how cool I can speak 3 languages. But when I learned Spanish, when you learn a language in your later years, it's a whole process, right? English came to me immediately. I was 6 years old, and in 3 months I was fluent. I don't even remember what learning the language was about. It just kind of happened. But with Spanish, I actually learned the language. I went through a process of learning it, understanding it, translating it, communicating, right? And that's the reason why I am sure that the markets speak their own language. And that's what I started to recognize as what was important to me, is speaking the language. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So I also want to talk about the fact that day trading allows us to work from anywhere. This is the coolest thing. After I removed those 2 monitors, I was able to just work from one chart altogether. Can you close this door for me? From one chart, and that's the beauty of it. Now I could travel all over the world. I used to also be featured on quite a lot of different live shows. I used to go to the Money Show, present at the Money Show, present at Traders Expo. But since COVID, I've discovered that being online is a much more easier way for me to reach a lot more people, and I'm enjoying that a lot more. So before we move on, I want to ask you guys, what does your trading station really look like? Okay, because the reality here is if your trading station looks anything like this, I will be super honest with you right now, super unsustainable. This cannot be sustained for a long period of time. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this show called King of Queens. It's a relatively old show. It's about, I don't know, like 10, 15 years old. Anyways, there's this one really funny scene. The main character got himself a 96-inch screen TV, and this is the day of direct TV. And he had this little room, and he put on the TV, and he's literally has like 1,100 channels, and they're sitting there flipping the channels every 15, 30 seconds. And one of his friends is like, stop, you're going to trigger my epilepsy. Okay, guys, this is it. If you have this kind of a setup going on, first of all, you're going to be in constant analysis paralysis. You are not going to be enjoying yourself. You're constantly going to be on edge, and you're going to trigger some crazy thing inside of you. It's not worth the stress, okay? because stress can really take all the fun out of your trading. So this is what I do today. This is it. This is my portable laptop. I could do it from anywhere in the world because, as I mentioned earlier, I was a travel writer. I still am, actually. I still run a travel site because travel for me and my family is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And we do it like 2 to 3, even 4 months out of the year. So I'm able to do this from anywhere I go. I use one chart because trading can be simple and it can be fun. All right, this is my chart right here, because without a chart, without a charting software, you're not going to be able to do much. You cannot be a Formula One driver in a minivan, right? You need to have the proper vehicle and platform, a charting platform. And today there's so many amazing charting platforms that you do need to have one. You need to have one that give you universal indicators. I am now down to 2 indicators. I use only 2 indicators, my EMA lines and the MACDs. For me, the MACDs are the holy grail. I find them to be literally the best that there is. So what are the basics of day trading? I want to get into the beginnings, right? Because if we know the basics, that is how we are going to be able to truly master and dominate whatever we are doing. Okay, so let me just see here about some questions. Do we really have to admit these stupid trades losses? Well, if you think of it like that, then you're denying yourself that you are losing. And denial is a huge factor in trading that becomes an emotional stressor. So you can deny as much as you want. That's up to you. I'm not here to be a psychological person, right? How many years have you studied it? I was studying for 2 years and failing until I realized that nobody was teaching me the basics. So basically what I was doing, imagine somebody that wants to be a musical, wants to learn how to play the flute, and they arrive to the conservatory of music, and instead of taking flute 101, like how do I hold the flute? How do I blow air into the flute? They're literally thrown into the orchestral pit and having to keep up with the other professional musicians. That is what really it looks like for the majority of the trainings that are out there. No one even teaches you how to hold that flute personally. Looks like a difficult thing to move to finance. Which brand name laptop are you using? Again, this is getting caught up in the minutia. Any laptop with Windows works. Any. When you start to really get into the nitty gritty, you'll never go into the trading. It does not matter what kind you have. I have a tiny, beautiful little laptop that I take traveling with me that has Windows, and then I have a gamer's laptop that I use when I'm at home. Does not matter. I personally use NinjaTrader. I am not affiliated with Ninja because there are so many fantastic charting softwares out there. At this point, I've been trading now 10 years. So when I began 10 years ago, there was a very few charting softwares. Today, there's a lot of really good ones. Which platform or website that you use to view your chart? Don't use any websites, guys. You need to get a platform. Using a website is kind of saying, hey, do you mind if I borrow your Formula One car for this race? Nobody will ever give you a really good one, right? Where do I get the data? So the data is you buy from your broker. That is really important. A lot of people can buy it from their chart, but you want to have a broker that works with your chart. So I use CQG, but there are a ton of different feeds and data that you can use. Make sure you find out which works best with your charting software and your broker. It's a combination, okay? So let's begin, guys. We all know that there are 3 logistically speaking trends. We have the upward trend, we have the downward trend, and we have the sideways trend. The sideways trend is the most overlooked one, and I can guarantee that 90% of your losses, of your winnings, of your profits of the day get lost when you are in a sideways market. Why? This is the consolidation zone. This is the indecision zone. This is the chop, the exhaustion pattern, whatever you want to call it. The thing is, this is a place where you need to stay out rather than try to predict what's going on. And I'm going to really focus in understanding how to spot these areas so that you can stay out. Because when you're in that area, This is where there's no real direction. Do you really want to be putting your money on something that you are 50-50 on? No, that's a coin toss. We never want to be in a coin toss. We always want to be at least 80% on that edge versus the 50-50. Anybody could do 50-50. My 12-year-old could come right now and say, oh, do this because 50% it could win, 50% it can't. That's not how it's going to happen. You need to have a strategy, right? So what is an upward trend? Super basic stuff, but it's super important. What is an upward trend? It's when each pivot is higher than the next pivot, right? It's literally moving up. It's bull market. It's when the market is trending up. It's when the market is going up. It is when you are entering a buy, when you are going along, when you are buying. What does that mean? It means you are entering at a lower price point, exiting at a higher price point. You are going long. You are entering for the higher targets. Okay, what's the downward trend? And this is really important because a lot of people who are saying to themselves, well, I never work with downward trends. You're not really trading. Real traders don't care if the market is going up or down because we make as much money, if not more, on the downward trend. Okay, super important to understand that. So what is the downward trend? It's when each pivot is lower than the next. It is when you are looking to enter a short. You are selling. That means you are entering at a higher price point, exiting at a lower price point, and you're taking that profit in between. Professional traders love to short the market. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the movie The Big Short. Literally, that is what they're talking about. It was a very long-term short, but it was still a short nonetheless. And those guys came out with hundreds of millions of dollars for shorting the market. So don't ever look at the shorting part because that shows me that you are in an emotional state. Because when people say, I'm not going to short the market, oh, you know, a lot of people are going to be hurt. Who cares? Nobody's thinking about you. We are all technical analysis people. Okay, technical analysis, short the market when you're banking on the market to go down. This is a bear market. This is when the market is going down. Okay, so let's talk about the consolidation areas and the transition areas because like I said before, the sideways market is literally the trader's worst enemy. And we need to learn how to avoid these areas and to avoid and to stay out of them. So this is what it looks like, a consolidation market. There is no direction here, guys. There is no direction here. But here's what happens. As I've said before, and I'm going to say it 1,000 times more, trading is a mental, emotional activity. As a matter of fact, it's 90% mental. So if anybody is saying, well, I could read the charts, I know, that's 10 to 20% max of what is really happening because 80 to 90% it's pure mental. So what does that mean? What does it mean to be an emotional trader, which is the worst possible type of trader? Here's a good example. You're telling yourselves nonsense stories. So let me give you an example of a story. And these stories have happened and run through our brains to every single one of us sitting here today. Here's the thing. Imagine you just met somebody new, right? And you really like them. You think that they're a really great person, whatever, romantically or as a friend, it doesn't matter. And you're really getting along and they're like, hey, I'm having a party in 2 days. I would love for you to come. And you're all excited. And they're like, I'll call you tomorrow with all the details. So you're all excited. Everything was great. The next day comes and goes. They never call. So what happens? You start to tell yourself nonsense stories. Maybe I said something that they didn't like. Maybe they talked to somebody and somebody said something bad about me. Maybe they just changed their mind, right? Who here has been there? If you're saying that you haven't, that you're not a real person. Okay, we've all been through this. Interestingly enough, for some reason, our brain, our mind always goes to the negative stories, right? We can't just say to ourselves, oh, you know, maybe something else happened. They forgot. So 2 days later, this person calls it like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. My phone fell in the toilet. I lost everybody's contacts. I wasn't able to contact you. But here's my information, right? So that's a story. There's no truth to anything that you told yourself because the truth was they lost their phone and lost their contacts. So the story that we tell ourselves when we see consolidating areas, it goes like this, because there's only two types of traders out there, and you're going to fall into either of these two categories. One is the friend is your trend kind of a trader, right? Friend is your friend. The trend is your friend kind of a trader. What does that mean? It means when they're looking at this, they're like, you know what? The market's been going long all day. I'm going long because this consolidation is going to last. It's going to go long. Boom. That's one story. Or the second category of traders, the contrarian trader, looks at this. You know what? The market's been going up all day. It's got a short. It's got a correct. I'm going to short it. Those are stories because neither one of them are true and neither one of them is actually what's going to happen. But what is going to happen is that the market is going to do what the market is going to do. You can never predict it and you can never beat it. So what can you do in this kind of a situation? Look, traders, professional traders know that they only have 3 jobs for being a trader. Number 1 job is knowing when to get into that market. Number 2 is knowing when to get out of that market. And number 3, and the most overlooked and probably most important, is knowing when to stay out entirely. Staying out of the market will save you guys so much money when you decide to make the right decision of not entering at a bad place. And this is a bad place. Okay, super important. Why? Because it could completely transition into a new trend, or it could break out and continue. But you don't know that. What you do know is that the market is telling you right now to sit out until it gives you a confirmation to do something different. And you could have these mini consolidations because it could still stop you out depending on the kind of trader you are. I personally am a scalper. That means I go in for really quick target profits. That means I would be stopped out because my target profit is small, so is my risk. And these happen all the time, right? So when we have consolidating markets, then we break out. We could look for the breakout, but then it could consolidate again, and so on and so forth. So you need to understand these areas. And what are these areas? Look, the market respects areas, and we, as the individual retail trader, need to respect them as well. What are these areas? They are the support and the resistance areas. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Formula One racers, it is a known fact, it's data proven that during racing season, 25% of the racers will either have an accident or worse, a fatality, right? They know this, we know this. So are they gonna just jump in their car and hit it at 200 miles per hour? Absolutely not. They're not stupid, right? What do? They're getting in, they have their fireproof uniform on, they have their helmets on, and they put on their seatbelts. These are the minor safety measures they take before other measures. 95%, if not more, of traders or so-called traders fail. We also know that statistic, yet nobody's really doing much to change it. Support and resistance areas, those are your seatbelts. Those are your safety measures. Why? Because when you draw in your support and resistance areas, you are putting them in, understanding that the market has respected those areas and can continue respecting those areas. We are in no position to know when they're going to break those areas and where they're going to break those areas, correct? So we cannot be putting in the stupid mental support resistance areas, which a lot of people do similarly to putting in that mental stop. It's literally like putting in a mental seatbelt and saying to yourself and lying to yourself that you're going to protect your baby if there's a car accident because you put in a mental seatbelt. You need to have these drawn in. Every platform, no matter what level you're in, has drawing tools, even if it's just a line, because when you're in the live market and you don't have these drawn in, your adrenaline is pumping and you're looking left on your chart, understanding why did you just enter, and you don't have this drawn in, you're going to be really freaking out, and you don't want that. So what is a resistance area? It is the ceiling of the market. It is literally where the market hits that area 3 or 4 or more times. It is respected by the market. It is the resistance area, and it could last for quite a long time. As I mentioned earlier, I am a scalper, so my trading session is only about an hour long, right? Because after that, my mind just goes to, I need to recharge. So resistance area could last an entire session. Do I want to be entering an area that's been respected over and over and over again? Absolutely not, because I know that I could get stopped out. So I have this drawn in, I'm already protected. Okay, what is a support area? Excuse me. It is the floor of the market. It is the floor of the market. It's literally where the market is hitting over and over and over again, the floor of the market. It can totally stop a strong downward trend. You need to know this. You need to draw this in. You cannot have your mental support areas in place because then you're fooling yourself. They are also the areas that you draw in for the channels, for the chop, for that indecision zone, right? Do you really want to enter a market that looks as crappy as this? Definitely not. Look at this. This is such ugly behavior. And as a professional trader, you need to spot this and know that there is no way you're making any money in such a crappy market, right? So you need to understand this. You need to draw in your areas. My charts are useless. Can you please say adios then, Stephen, because they are more useful than a lot of other people's charts. I don't appreciate people being mean. We are not here to be mean. It's interesting. People always say, you know, you get to choose anything to be in the world. Why not be kind? So here we are. How do you guys recognize these areas happening in the beginning? How do you recognize them happening in the beginning? Reversal patterns and divergences. To me, they are literally the trader's map to a shift in direction and trend. These are the most important things, and they are free. They are free. Okay, so what is a reversal pattern? They are the double tops, triple tops, double bottoms, triple bottoms, head and shoulders. These are super, super important. Okay, you guys need to spot them, and they are free and can be found in any. And what are reversal patterns? They are indications that the market is going to slow down or reverse. It is not a 100% that the market is going to reverse. Okay, we need to wait for that confirmation to happen. So what is a divergence? What is a divergence? So divergence is when you are right here, your price action is going in one direction and your MACDs or whatever indicator you're using, could be the RSIs, whatever, a lot of people use different ones, are going in the opposite direction. Divergences are really important because they are the first indicators that the market is slowing down. Do you want to be in a market that's slowing down or going to completely reverse? Okay, reversal patterns. This is what they look like. So when I'm seeing divergence and I'm seeing the opposite with my MACDs, I'm already staying out because I know what the market is telling me. It's telling me to sit out. Now, when I have a reversal pattern and a divergence, I know 100% that this is completely staying out. I don't know if it's going to be completely changing, but I'm going to now wait for the next confirmation, and chances are it is going to be confirmation for a reversal, and I'll be ready to jump in when that new trend begins, because when a new trend begins, that's usually the strongest time of the market. Okay, so this is how we could spot those divergences, and they are so important, guys. If you can understand divergences and reversal patterns, I can guarantee you right now that your trading will improve by 90%. Because I have to say that the majority of my students, they say to me, this has been their biggest aha moments, is starting to look for those reversal areas. And then on top of that, also divergences. And it's simple. We could do it on any charting software with any instrument. And that's the coolest thing. You don't have to waste your money on algorithms and other softwares because those don't really work. Everything we need is right there in front of us. So breaking out of areas, how to spot the valid breakout. We all know that the breakout is probably the most powerful, most important trade setup that you could take. Why? Because they're usually the simplest to spot. But if you don't have your areas drawn in, you will miss out on the breakout, right? So we need to draw in those resistance areas, those support areas, because those will be the ones that really show you that potential. So what is a breakout area? Let me give it to you guys in simplistic terms. You live here, you live south right here. your best friend or your sister or brother calls you up and they're like, hey, I'm having a last minute barbecue, come on over, and you're free. You're like, okay, great, I'm gonna come over. You hop into your car and you've been to their house a million times, so you know the road like the back of your hands. You hop in your car and you get on the highway and you're zooming. But all of a sudden, there's this huge construction site detour, and there's a construction worker telling you gotta get off the road and you gotta take these little streets. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally freaking out because one, I have no idea where I'm at. Two, what if they stop with the detour signs? Three, Google Maps and Waze has not caught up to the detour, so it's still showing me the highway when that's not a possibility. So what's happening in my mind? I am completely stressed. I am in totally uncertain, doubtful areas, right? It is not a place that I would tell anybody to bet on me to continue going to my friend's house, or I might have to turn around altogether, or I might get completely lost and miss the whole party altogether, right? So you don't want to be in that area. And this is right here. This is that resistance area, that support area. But all of a sudden, the construction worker is like, okay, we're finished working. You guys can get back on the highway. And boom, you're back on your highway and you are moving quickly. This is the breakout area, continuing in the same directions with strength, right? You're driving north, all of a sudden, massive detour, consolidation area, boom, it opens back up and you're back on track. Okay, so how do I take my breakout trades? I always have my areas drawn in. So the way I use my MACDs with my price action is obviously I always look out for the divergences. And right here, you could see this dotted line, right? So it goes here. What I do is I use the EMA line. So the dotted line is the 0 on the MACDs. It is where there's absolutely no strength at all in the MACDs. That means there's no strength in the market. And as you can see here, the majority is 0 strength. But all of a sudden it breaks out. It gives me massive move on the MACDs, massive movement here. And then it retraces back to my EMA. I take all my trades from the EMA. I always have an order waiting. You cannot do a market order when you're trading because that shows the market that you are an amateur and it charges you, penalizes you with slippage. Okay, so here you go. You move and you can see here there's barely any retracement here, but there's certainly enough for me to get into my trade. And boom, I'm off to the races with that particular trade. Now, I want to give you guys another bonus trade because this is just as important. Again, using your areas drawn in, using the MACDs to show you where there's strength. And that is the initial instant reaction trade. What is that? It is a new transitional trade, a new transition trend trade. What does that mean? Look, guys, when we have a new trend, that is when we have the most amount of strength to go the furthest in that direction. So to give it to you simply, imagine you want to start to go running, right? You're all excited to go running, you get your running shoes on, you're out the door, you're full of energy. So if I was going to bet that you were going to run for the first mile or two, that's when I would do it. But then later on, you're jogging and maybe you get a little bit thirsty, you want some water, all of a sudden you bump into a friend and your momentum slows down. Do I want to keep betting on you to continue after that? Chances are not so much, unless you like pop in a gel, an energy gel or something and decide to continue. That's the breakout. But you might not want to go anywhere. So I want to be in as early as possible in on that trend. And the trend works the same way. The most amount of strength is when you first change direction and you move first. Okay, so guys, I want you to stay till the very end because I have a really cool bonus to show you at the end of this presentation. Now, I want to talk and show you guys about live analysis. All right, so this here is my chart. I personally, oh, are you guys able to see my charts? Do you do day trading only? I personally am a day trader because here's the thing, guys. Whenever I tell people that I day trade, they immediately say, oops, they immediately tell me, oh, I want to learn how to invest. So I always tell people we trade to invest because the strategies are so different, right? So day trading and swing trading are very close in the strategy, but when you're investing, it's a whole other ball game, right? So I mainly day trade. Yes, I day trade and then I invest my money. So this is my chart. This is, and again, you could use any good software. So as you guys could see, I am predominantly an E-mini trader. I love the E-minis. I find them to be the most consistent, the most flowing, the most easier to follow with technical analysis. Also look at my time frame. I use tick charts. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of tick charts, but I love tick charts. So this is it. I use 2 indicators only to simplify my life. I use EMAs and the MACDs. But as you can see here, each bar has ticks. What is that? 600 and ticks, meaning there are 610 transactions happening per candlestick. What does that mean? First of all, it's showing me what is happening in real time. I'm able to see the volatility, the movement, the volume. That also allows me to remove the volume indicator, which a lot of people use, but don't realize that it is a really lagging indicator. Okay, so the indicator lags. And we don't want to be using indicators that lag. And this is a little side note, guys. I get a lot of people that come in and their charts are just flashing with like 10 different indicators. And I ask them, I'm like, why do you use so many indicators? Well, this guru said to use this one, this YouTuber said to use that one. I'm like, yes, but it might be working for them, but are you able to use them? So what I recommend is if you have too many indicators, a lot of them might not even be good for you. So just, back test each one. Really see, does that one work for you? I used to have Kettler bands, Bollinger bands, Fibonacci's, and they never worked for me. I tried to use them a million times and they simply did not click with me. And all they kept on doing was really giving me anxiety. I was constantly freaking out with my charts until I removed them. And wow, was that a load off of my shoulders? I was able to enjoy my charts a lot more. A lot of times we get really stressed out and not enjoy the process because we have too much going on, too much that we don't even know what is going on. Okay, so this is my chart. Now, when I sit down at my chart, I immediately put in my areas. My areas are so important. They are going to be telling me where the market has respected them, understand what is going on. And as you can see here, I actually had a fake out breakout momentum, right? But if I did not draw this area in and didn't realize what my EMAs were doing, I would be stopped out here, but I would totally be able to avoid this fake out breakout. And the same here, right? We know where there is a massive area, and now I can see where there is a breakout trade setting up, and that's the beauty of it. So I'm following along. I'm also seeing where there is already divergences happening, right? So there's no divergence here yet, but all of a sudden, look at this. Even though we're flat, there's a massive divergence here, and look what happened. I would have been totally stopped out here if I was to continue. And it's a double bottom that turned into a triple bottom, and it has massive divergence, right? Until it breaks divergence, and then I could get back into the market. And that's the way I work with it. These are free, guys. All of this I'm showing you is free with a really strong platform, okay? Now, also, I really need to have my MACDs. So here the market is going long, but my MACDs are still under the 0 line. That is showing me still quite a lot of weakness here until it passes through my blue areas. Then I would definitely consider entering this trade right here. This would be my perfect setup. And like I said earlier, I always have an order waiting, always. But I'm not, and the beauty of order weightings is I will tell the market where I want it to go. And I could have one here until I even see if it's worth it, because I don't get charged commission. I don't get anything until I am in the actual trade. So until it hits my blue areas, I'm not into this, because boom, look at that. Order canceled. It could totally go down and change direction because it could be a consolidation area. And look what happened here. So this is something that I really focus on, and this is all about reading the market. So if you guys don't have a tick chart, the closest time frame for 610 ticks is about 1 minute or 3 minutes, usually 1 minute. Okay, so that's another really important thing, guys. If you are a day trader and you're scalping, do you really want to be on a 1 day chart or a week chart? No, you want to be in the minutes chart. But if you're swing trading, do you really want to be in a 1 minute chart when you're swing trading between a couple of days or even a week? You need to also be on the right time frame, right? So it could be 1 minute, it could be 1 day, it could be 2 hours. So you need to know what kind of a trader are you, be able to use the charts properly. Otherwise, you will be on the wrong time frame and you will be losing all the time. So 610 tick chart for me is really quick, right? You've seen how quick these bars are moving because I am a scalper. I go for really quick trades, 30 seconds to 3 minutes max. And that is really important for me to know what my time frame is. So you need to also have that in mind when you are trading. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and let me know if you guys have any questions about the charts, about the indicators. Like I said, day trading is not a spectator sport. So I am here to be able to help you answer all of your questions. Okay, now I have a really important question for you guys. How many of you guys struggle with your trading strategy and a plan, or even worse, not having one at all? Okay, how do you guys actually have a trading plan and a strategy, or do you not have one at all? So basically, if you don't have one at all, basically what happens is you're getting into the car, not really sure how to work it, but maybe you know how to turn it on, and you just start to drive and you don't really have anywhere where you're going. So eventually you're going to run out of gas. You're going to end up losing, right? You need to have that strategy. That is super, super important, right? Like that is so important. And it's all about simplicity. The more simplified your life is, your charts are, your trading, the better results you're going to get. And the more you can avoid that stress and the analysis and paralysis, because that, guys, will do you in all the time. It is so not fun when you are in stress mode and analysis paralysis. I help traders to be able to read the markets with confidence and ease because it is simplified, and master those high probability trade setups. That's what I do mainly. And here's the reality check, guys. Too many seasoned and aspiring traders are experiencing more losses than wins. I always have traders coming to me after a presentation asking me, how do you trade from anywhere with just your laptop and consistently be profitable in just a couple of hours per day? And here's the reality, guys. You are all sitting here right now because you're still probably struggling, or you want to learn something to take you to that next level. And that's the reason why I'm here to help you guys, right? Like I said before, if you could even get one thing out of this presentation, it could definitely take you to that next level. That is a guarantee. So what I started to do was I started to make videos and easy tutorials, because before I knew it, I had created an entire library that I wanted to share with you, and that is what I'm sharing with you now. Simplifying Day Trading course. This course could be done on any platform, laptop, desktop, tablets, phones, anywhere. Okay, so what you guys will be getting in this course. First and foremost, simplifying your day trading package, right? Really like working with you guys to really simplify and understand what is working, what is not, and really understanding what is helping you. But I'll be honest with you, one of the biggest issues that I have found with a lot of my students is that they don't really understand how to use their platform, or really struggle setting up their platform. So in this course, in phase 1, you will be getting a 30-minute tutorial platform, and I can help you because I have pretty much worked on any platform at this point. So we can get past the setup of the platform and get right into the good stuff, which is the trading. So you don't have to wonder, is this correct? How do I set this up on my platform? You don't have to deal with any of that at all. And I see that somebody asked about how to set up the MACDs. I am going to totally help you with that a little bit later. I'll show you how to set them up. Really easy, and MACDs are universal on any platform. Okay, then we're going to be jumping into dissecting the markets, understanding those uptrends, the sideways trends, the downwards trends, because they are crucial, and learning those magic telltale signs, the reversals and the divergences, because they truly speak to you. They scream to you, don't go in, or this is the time. And the breakouts, understanding those top market moves and entries, okay? Because divergences, all of this, they are right there for you. Like I said before, there is a language and you could be fluent in it easily. And setting up the whole mindful part of it. Like I said before, it's the mind is 80%, right? So we're going to work on the preparation for the trading in the moment exercises, because you cannot be thinking about fixing your car and taking your kid to the doctor while you're sitting in front of your charts. You are not there mentally and you will end up losing. So that I will be working with you on that, because that will help so much. And back testing. If you guys don't back test, then just shut your computers, your charts right now and leave. It's literally like you going into an operating room, your son is about to be operated, and the surgeon comes over to you and they're like, oh my goodness, I just came up with a really great new method of surgery on this kind of problem that your son has. And you're like, okay, great. What has been the success rate? Oh, I don't know the success rate. You're going to be the first. It's ludicrous. Doctors, that's literally back testing. They have practiced and repracticed and really worked on that surgery, that procedure 1,000 times before, and not usually on live patients, right? You need to back test each trade setup. If you're not doing that, guys, you are going to continue losing. We go over all of that because that will completely change everything. Then we're going to be talking about going live, because going live is a huge transition mentally, and I will help you completely maximize those profits while minimizing that risk in the live market. Then we will have a solid trading strategy and plan that you'll be able to trust entirely. Because when you have a plan that you have back tested, worked on, practiced, you could trust it. You know that every time you do that particular trade setup, it works out 80% of the time. So you can confidently continue taking that trade, okay? Then you will have complete unlimited access to the curriculum for life. All right, so what is included in here? Phase 1, phase 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everything that we just talked about, that's valued at $1,600. But I have a really important question for you guys. How do you know you're doing it right? Look, we've got everything we need right there at our fingertips, right? We've got the summits like here. We've got workshops. We've got YouTubers. We've got books. But how do you know you're doing it right? Who is there to tell you at the end of the day, yes, this is how the support area looks. This is where the resistance area is. This is a great time for the breakout. How do you know you're doing it right? Right? I've had students that totally over trade. They go in and out 100 times. Over trading never works. We've all been victim of it. I certainly have. They don't work. It's not sustainable. And secondly, you'll be killed on the commissions alone. But if nobody is there to tell you that or show you or help you, you're going to continue losing because you're going to believe that this is the right thing to do. Also, once my students have gone through the program and really learn how to do it, and we're in the live market, we go through this really cool, fun challenge, 1 trade per day. That helps eliminate all the crap trades that they think they are doing correctly, to be able to really focus on the one good one until they really understand, wait, 90% of this was just crap. And then they start to be able to put in the other trades as well. And this is also the lesson here is, where is your support resistance area? This person, this is one of my students, they drew this in. This is an entire area with several trends going on. This is not an area, right? So you want to really focus, because you're going to miss out on all the good stuff that's going on. So here are some of my students' testimonials, and I have students literally all over the world, because that is the beauty of trading. We could do it from anywhere in the world. Here's John from Norway. I can't even explain how important, how many aha moments I've had with Marina's easy to follow modules and her support. Chad from the US. After talking to Marina, I knew our trading styles were similar, but something was missing from mine. I started to apply what I learned from her, and it's been helping me keep me out of the chop, because the chop is the killer. My percentage is increasing. I wish I could have found her in 2016. And then Dawn from the States. Marina truly helps her students learn trading skills to ensure confidence and teaches proper trading habits to reduce the greed. Guys, greed is a biggie.
and you could completely avoid it. And that is a mental thing. Like I said, that's a story and it can be eliminated. So let me share something really important with you guys. I have a bonus for you. You will get with this course 6 months, excuse me, one-on-one mentorship, live coaching, feedback with me, one-on-one, unlimited for 6 months. You will never have to be like, am I doing this right? Ever, because you will be working with me, sending in your charts. We'll be working together to make sure that you are understanding what's going on, that you can avoid the greed, the, all the risk managements, and really have a strategy that you could fully trust, because a mentor could take you to the top, and that is included in this course. And let me give you an example of how you could really nail that strategy, and we work together. I have in the course 10 trade setups that you could use under any market condition, and we will be working with that together. I also know for a fact that nobody offers trade setups. You have to pay per trade setup with all the other courses. I know that because I've been there, I've done it, and you get the 10 trade setups that I use, and we work together to make sure that you can master each one. This alone is valued at an extra $1,500. Okay, you will know where to buy, where to sell, and understand. All of this is valued at $7,000. Okay, now imagine if this course can finally allow you to earn the $50,000, $100,000 extra dollars per year trading. This will be completely worth it. Now imagine if all of this was cut your learning time in half. If my course could shorten your time to get you to the trading goal by half the time and avoid the pain, the frustration, and so much wasted energy, wouldn't that be worth that one-time $7,000 payment? I have purposely made my course unlike any others. My years of experience with my simplified strategy is what will take you to that next step, and it really will help you excel in your day trading. Here's the deal. I could have made this program super cheap, but my investment in my students, that time I spend with my students during their mentorship for 6 months, I cannot offer it to a widespread amount of students. I simply won't be able to focus all my attention and to help you guys succeed. Because the reality is so many traders fail. This is a known fact. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. I do not want you to fail. I do not want you to be just that other statistic, because with the Simplifying Day Trading course, you will not be that statistic. Now, if you are a successful trader right now, financially and fully supporting you and your family, plus you get to do whatever you love for only a short period of time per day from anywhere in the world, what's that worth to you? How much would you invest today to live your life doing what you love, not wasting any more time with inconsistency and doubt, and donating money to the market over and over again, and to finally have that time to yourself and your family to not worry about your money? You could see why people pay $7,000, because it's not a cost, it's an investment. But here's the thing, guys, I have a special price only for you guys today, participants only who have come here today. Remember, you'll get everything that we talked about, setting up your platform, the trade setups, the mentorship, everything. And that's a value of $7,000. But today, you'll get it for $448. $448. You could go right here, right now, daytradingoffer.com. Go to daytradingoffer.com. You could go right here, everything that we just talked about, daytradingoffer.com. Here's some more testimonials. Michelle, best decision I ever made. You are honestly needing the time to practice and go live. I appreciate everything that Marina has done. Adrian, Marina's courses make you a star. Talk about stop placement. She will teach you where to put that stop. Trend. Is the market in a trend? Is it in the same direction? How to analyze that market? What is that market doing? Reversals, any upcoming reversals that could potentially change that direction. You need to take her classes. Daytradingoffer.com. Daytradingoffer.com. Go to daytradingoffer.com. Now remember what I said. I only will have spots for 25 students because I want to focus so much of my attention on each one of my students with that one-on-one mentorship. Guys, the one-on-one mentorship alone is priceless. And I'll also be really, really honest, $448, that is usually about how much we put in on our trades, right? Here you will get everything, the setups, the one-on-one with me, the whole strategy. And like I said before, whoever stayed to the end, I have an extra bonus for you guys only. I'm saving this for last. I have a live trade chat room that I personally do. There are no moderators, no administrators. I run it per month. Date for 1 month, you will get a free trial in the live trade chat room, and that is included in the course. So go to daytradingoffer.com, daytradingoffer.com. No, Anna, it's daytradingoffer.com. So can you please change that? Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to remove the other one. Daytradingoffer.com. Okay, please go to daytradingoffer.com. So join me, guys, today. Here are some more testimonials. Marina is right. Start today. I wish I found Marina sooner. Been struggling for years, no progress, and her support is nowhere else. I have zero experience in this area and found each step to lay it out simply and succinctly. I just wanted you to know that I'm thoroughly enjoying these classes. So this is everything you guys are going to get. The 30-minute platform tutorial, understanding the market, the mindfulness, being prepared properly, live trade support, the strategy, the setups, the 10 setups, that alone, this one-on-one mentorship, you guys, one-on-one mentorship, the trade setups. This could be found in any market condition, and we work together. Okay, all this is valued at $7,000 plus you get the extra, which is 30 days free membership in the live trade chat room. Okay, I have only limited for 25 students. And the coolest thing of all, you can start today with $99, 5 easy payments. So I have that as well. And remember, I could only take 25 students. Now, here is where we could go right here. If you put in daytradingoffer.com, this is where you will be taken to right here. Right here, you can take that and enter right here, and it is available to everybody. Okay, go here right now, and as you can see right here, you can start $99 per month. $99, and you get access to everything. You get absolute access to everything. Okay, you get 50% off. Usually this course is at $900. So go here, daytradingoffer.com, daytradingoffer.com, guys, and this is where you guys could enter and see right here. Okay, daytradingoffer.com. So I know that there was a couple of questions here. Okay, so you want to know how to set up the MACDs. So I obviously use Ninja. It does not matter which software you use because I've used TradingView, I've used MetaStock, I've used Thinkorswim. So in this particular case, you have to go to the indicators section. And in the indicators section, you will get a lot of universal indicators, right? And then you will press on the MACDs. So I already have my MACDs obviously set up right here. So let me just take you through it. So my parameters are universal. They will always open at 1226. They will always open at 1226.9. That's the total normal. So MACDs on any platform, they usually have 3 plots. They have the MACD itself, which is what you're seeing here. They also have the average and the difference. For me, that was just too much white noise. And for Ninja, I just put them into transparent. I know that you could just put them in, completely remove them automatically. So you just put in the MACDs and the plot, and that's it, right? I use dots. You could use any kind of way that you want to use them. So hopefully that explains how I personally use how to set up the MACDs. Okay, and again, I am able to help you guys with all of your charting platforms. Okay, so remember here, go to daytradingoffer.com. It will take you to this order form right here. You could pay it one time, and get everything that is offered. And you could start with $99 and still get everything offered, and that is 5 easy, quick payments. Okay, so let me know if there's any other questions, guys. I'm here to help. And again, I really appreciate you all taking your time out this morning or afternoon, depending where you are. For me, it's still morning. And thank you. So please let me know any questions, and I am really looking forward to seeing you guys in the course. Daytradingoffer.com. I am here to help you all the time. Thank you, Anna, for having me as well. And let me know if there's any more questions, guys. And if not, I'll see you in the course, daytradingoffer.com. So remember, guys, $448 is what you would probably spend on a day trading without having the setups and the mentorship that I offer alone. So the return on investment on that alone is 100-fold. So daytradingoffer.com. I will see you guys in the course. And thank you everybody so much for joining and taking this time out. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a super day. Bye. And I'm here for anything you guys need.